All right, Camo Dave Show. Hey everybody, this is Tony 3D's channel. This used to be Dave 2D. He changed his channel name to Tony 3D, and basically this is all that's on it. If you go to the About tab, he does have this. That's the description to his channel. And I'm not going to comment on it, but that is that. All right. Anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know. And then, of course, the only other thing that works on formerly Dave 2D's channel is the join. There's his levels. So anyway, tell him if you do join, tell him you know who sent you. Look at that. I just was stumbling on my channel, my Camo Dave channel, and there it is. Look at the number of views. I don't know, man. It's a weird day. Ain't it a weird day? It's a very weird day. I want to thank all 666 people who viewed my video on You Know Who's massive Mickey collection. I don't know, man. I am also look at Rich Life of Road Trips. Same thing. He's out west now. Chris, I believe his name is. Did a live stream an hour ago. How many views? Oh yeah. There's somebody sending a message out there somewhere. I don't know, man. Okay, we saw RV Rebel Girl this morning, and she was talking about that Billy Bass, that weirdo toy thing that turns and sings to you. This is real bass. This is real free Billy Bass. Yeah, and then we get a lot of shots of Pumpkin, their dog. Destination Open Road, Scott and Terry on their way back to Washington State. And Scott is busy fixing the water pump, the RV water pump. And, I thought he was making gloppy food. And then I kind of put my glasses on. I said, what's he cooking up there? And then I realized, there's, what is that, some chili there, a can of chili for the water pump. Maybe that would work. And some bananas. Sounds delicious. Guess what? He got it working. Yeah. So Scott and Terry are heading back to Washington State after being down in the southwestern Arizona area for 6 months. Quite a stay there. A little time for a break from Aja and the tribe, and got to taking care of some family business, I imagine. All right, we got Samantha R. Olmsted there, the former, soon-to-be once again flight attendant. She got put on furlough because of the pandemic, and so she decided to do some camping in her van and building it out and everything. And then she drove to New York, to LaGuardia Airport, I believe, out there in Queens, and is getting her parking passes for when she returns to work with a airline. We won't name the airline. We don't want to get her into trouble. It's Hooterville Airlines, right? They fly to Hooterville. No, it's, there was a Hooters airline. Do you know that? I think they flew like from, where'd they fly from? Like Indianapolis to Myrtle Beach. She doesn't work for them. She works for one of the respectable big airlines. But anyway, she was worried that her fan was going to leak, because when she was driving around the parking decks there at LaGuardia the other day, the fan was scraping against some of the ceilings of the decks and making a nasty noise. And then she noticed there was like she had to fiddle with it and tape it up and whatever, and now it's okay, but she's just making sure it's not leaking. Hey, just something to talk about if you want to read something interesting here. This is the Washington Post. I believe you have to pay to get this article. They put it behind the paywall, but if you try to hit the incognito mode and you might be able to see it, or, whatever. Try a different browser, I don't know. Apparently at Bears Ears Park there in Utah, it's a Utah monument park, apparently a lot of tourists have been really flocking there and have done some damage to it, and anyways, the previous president, according to this article, whoever he was, they said undid protections established by the president before him. And apparently people have now come to, it says here, what the problem are: roaring ATVs, uranium mining, coronavirus-weary tourists seeking outdoor adventure. So people are driving around in their RVs in these beautiful, pristine parks, you know who, like you know who, making lots of noise. They're doing mining in the parks, and they're doing a lot of, so many tourists overloading the parks. Now, we had Slim Potato Head a while back talk about how he thought that was hurting a lot of the parks. He said, go out and see these parks, because in a couple of years they're all going to be ruined. Because there's just too many, like this summer, people aren't going to be able to fly yet. There's still a lot of pandemic-y worries. People are going to be crowding into these parks, and without the certain protections that that used to exist, people are going to be looting and trashing the parks. That's what we're hearing, and driving their ATVs around and making a lot of Anyway, it says Bear Ears Park remains a divisive issue even in conservative Utah. Republican politicians do not want the current president, Mr. Biden, to use an executive order to restore the monument park. Instead, the lawmakers say they can build a more durable solution through federal legislation that would allow for negotiations among ranchers, miners, Native Americans, and conservationists. A lot of the folks that live out west obviously do not like the federal government running everything, because their land is all owned by the federal government, and the government's back east. They want to be able to have some say in what, how the land in their state is, used and whatever. And, so there's a big issue there going on. Very interesting article. I will put a link to it in the comments below. And, do hit the incognito mode or something if you can't see it, because it's a good article in the Washington Post, which is a good, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Amazon owns this newspaper now, and there's some good articles in it. But, you shouldn't have to pay for just this one article, Now, tell them Camo Dave said you can watch it for free or view it for free. Letters, 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 letters. I love these letters. Got some nice ones today. Terry B says, covering the same nasty and possibly morons at the bottom of YouTube is not oddly compelling to most of us, but it's an excuse for all the old bitter guys to comment about the world. Whatever. You old bitter guy commenting about the world. Yeah, okay. We don't want to hear about all these morons at the bottom of YouTube. Yeah, old bitter guys talking about the moron. Yeah. Yeah, Terry, I totally agree with you. Yeah. LifeQuest says if you open the Disney packaging, if you never open the Disney packaging, the value soars as the item gets older. If you open the box, you lose all that value and are lucky to be able to sell it. Now, we were talking about, you do see people that collect Disney merchandise, okay? But they keep it in the original packaging and then they resell it years later after it's been discontinued or whatever. And you can make some really good money on that. And I had some friends. I went in, they had a room in their house, and it was just piled floor to ceiling with boxes of unopened toys. And I said, what are you doing? They said, we're just keeping these for 5 or 10 years, and we're going to sell them and make a lot of money. Once you do open up the packaging, though, yeah, it's what Nomadic, what's his name there, the guy from Illinois, Eric, the cat Jinx Jacks, whatever. Yeah, he does have hundreds and hundreds of the Mickey dolls. But, yeah, now that you've opened them, gotten rid of the packaging, the value is... The Beaver Den RV Cooking and Crafting says, speaking of cooking videos, I make some damn good food and nobody ever watches my cooking videos. I could outcook any nomad on YouTube. I guess we need to stir up some fake drama in our lives so we aren't so boring. Here it is. The Beaver Den RVing and Crafting. Look, I'm already subscribed. Again, hey, cooking on Blackstone, where are the beavers? Van life for the beavers. Anyway, so some interesting stories, interesting articles there. Dutch oven ribs and cornbread baked over the coals. Damn, that looks really good. If you guys come through Western North Carolina, will you cook up something for me? We could do a cool collaboration. Camo Dave comes over and you guys, yeah, you could probably make it to Western North Carolina, Asheville, somewhere, sometime. If you do, let me know, and you can cook me up some food. Looks like a good channel. Check him out. The Beaver Den RV Crafting and Living, or vice versa. Ryan says he's been watching Nomadic all these issues with his base camp as pure entertainment. I enjoy that, I'll tell you. something about the channel. I'm enjoying the arcade stuff, and I'm enjoying the Disney collection, the Mickey collection, and I'm enjoying the house. It is, it reminds me a lot of Green Acres. Remember Oliver and Lisa there, and that funky house there in the middle of nowhere, and all the crazy crap, the sliding closet door in the master bedroom that would always fall and clunk, and the half-finished house and the leaks, and they had to climb the telephone pole because the telephone wires didn't reach into the house. Yeah, that reminds me a lot of that. That Derek's house there is very much like that. Ryan says watching Nomadic Pornoric and all the issues with his base camp is pure entertainment. Yeah. Time to grab some popcorn. Ami Knocker says Derek does own the house, Eric, except it's not a house, it's mostly a cabin. He bought the house cabin on a land contract, more likely with so much down and so much a month for so many years, okay? With a basic land contract, the owner keeps the title in his or her name, and if you miss a payment or two, he just runs out and keeps any money that he's got from you. That is where Eric is going with all of this, because at some point Eric is going to have to cut his losses and run. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We did hear something about like a lease to own option. Anyway, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah. I don't know, man. Again, in that event, if you're doing that, do you still technically have a landlord, right? I don't know, you're still technically renting, so you would think that if you have flooding issues around the house or drainage issues, that the landlord would be there, the owner technically would be there to fix it, right? Unless the contract specifies other thing. We need a lawyer. We need a lawyer here. Michael Bauer says Derek he's going to be like when he can actually open his house and charge for admission for a 1980s arcade museum. Absolutely. Kathy Klein says, this morning's video I had no video clips and I talked for 7 minutes with aimless remarks. And she found that oddly compelling. Van Gogh Traveler says, social media is very psychological. If you are on YouTube, be prepared for the negative remarks. It's part of having a channel. Not everyone is going to like what you do. We feel fortunate to be doing what we do. Do what you do and be happy. Thanks for entertaining us, Dave. Aw, thanks you, Van Gogh Travelers. For that nice comment, I'm going to give you guys a shout out. And I'm going to subdo you. There we go. There. Put you in the mix. Yeah. Destination Nowhere. I like that. That's a Destination Nowhere. I like that. I like that. And the Devil's Tower. Wow, boondocking on BLM land. Some good stuff there from Van Gogh Travelers. We were talking about fires, propane fires, especially there in very many campers and stuff. Come to think of it, says Let's Be Frank, fire extinguishers get little mention in Nomad videos. In fact, any mobile vehicle should have one, or many, or several. Safety first to all. You all take care. And whatever fire prevention stuff that works best with propane. I don't know. Can you use a standard fire extinguisher on a propane fire? I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. And finally, Peace Earth says, you can criticize things, but when you criticize people, you have to take responsibility for hurting people, which is like putting a K-N-I-F-E in them with words. That is a cruel person who would not be happy. That is a cruel person who would not be happy if someone did it to them. Hurting a person all so that he can monetize on his cruel words, hurting another. When this is acceptable by society, we have lost a part of our humanity. Here on the Camo channel, we do try to keep the criticism to the channels and the content and that kind of thing, and not on the person, him or herself. We try to do that, okay? Again, there are so many comments. Some are sarcastic. Some are, maybe bordering on something what you think would be nasty. If you see a comment that really goes over the top, copy and paste it in an email to camodave@gmx.com, put questionable comment or something in the subject line, and tell me the video that you found it in, and I'll take a look at it, because we're not 100% on when we do, when we look through videos, and look through comments, sometimes we miss things, and the problem with YouTube, especially lately, the last week, I've been getting 4 to 5 times my views, and the comments are just coming wild and crazy, and you do reviews, some of them, and it's just a mind-numbing experience sometimes, and you don't always give the comment the attention that maybe it deserves, All right, folks, thank you so much for watching. It is Letters and More for the 8th of April, 2021. You all have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Vlog under.